Robert Vadra will be sitting on tenterhooks today. A UK court has rubber-stamped the Enforcement Directorate's case seeking extradition of Robert Vadra's alleged close aide, Sanjay Bhandari.
So the fugitive arms dealer will now have to face the courts here in India on serious charges of money laundering and tax evasion. And the reason is why it's such a huge blow to Robert Vadra because of an April 2010 email trail between Vadra and Bhandari's alleged aide, Thampi, regarding a London property. Now the Enforcement Directorate will be feeling triumphant today as they claimed that this property is owned by Bhandari's frontman and held the property for the Gandhi son-in-law, Robert Vadra.
In fact, in other words, the Enforcement Directorate says that the flat in London was a kickback paid allegedly to Vadra as a commission for allegedly introducing Bhandari to the top UPA officials, including ministers, to clear a petroleum deal.
So the courts here in India have already taken cognizance of a charge sheet that makes this particular claim. With Bhandari's return, the ED will now be able to question the arms dealer and draw out more on the alleged kickback as to what was given to the Vadras allegedly. It is quite apparent that once Bhandari is in India, the focus now will shift to linking Robert Vadra to that of the scandal. That is the big question.
So of course, he still has the information coming in is that he still has the option to approach a higher court in this regard. So as of now, the court has okayed India's demand and request for an extradition. So he is going to be brought to the country.
So for years altogether, let's break down the details exactly when it comes to this said deep linkage between Bhandari and Robert Vadra. Here is why the ED believes that their relationship is apparently suspicious.
Well, here we are going to explain to you what is this link which is now emerging. The first thing that we are going to discuss is as to why the ED suspects the Bhandari-Vadra link in the first place. What's legal, and we'll tell you also why it's suspicious. What's legal? Bhandari's rise from homeopathy to arms deals. Of course, there's nothing illegal in anyone shooting high in life. However, what's suspicious is the mail train on the London house. This is a Brampton house that links Bhandari and Vadra because it was a mail written by one of the close aides, also allegedly one of the relatives of Sanjay Bhandari and Robert Vadra. Also in 2008, and this is legal, Bhandari floats an offset India solutions company. Nothing illegal about that. However, what's suspicious is that it started after the 2006 UPA's 30% plow-back policy, of which Bhandari seems to have benefited from. Let's also tell you, 2010, Bhandari gets the Pilates deal to liaison with India. Per se, no illegality there. However, what's suspicious is that there was a huge deal to a newcomer with absolutely no prior experience in defense. Why was Sanjay Bhandari the handpicked one in that case? Also, in 2010, you had the Bhandari-Vadra email trail on London home. This is something that the Income Tax Department as well as the Enforcement Directorate had spoken about. What's suspicious is that it incidentally coincided with the Pilates deal. Nothing suspicious about email, but it also is at a time when the Pilates deal was being finalized. So interestingly, these are the suspicious deals which are now. Some of it is legal, of course, but also what's suspicious is what the Enforcement Directorate as well as the Income Tax Department must now look into. The larger Sanjay Bhandari, Robert Vadra nexus and the linkages as being alleged.
So the investigative agencies have reportedly traced the funds flow to make their case. In fact, when Bhandari is brought back to India, he will be extensively questioned with the aim to get him to explain the intricacies involved. Let's also tell you about how the funds allegedly flowed through the fronts from 2007 petroleum deal.
I'm going to try and explain what the Enforcement Directorate and Income Tax, the two agencies have been alleging. They are saying this is regarding the petroleum deal kickbacks. This is way back in 2007. What they allege is that 1.9 million pounds were transferred to Syntech International in UAE. What is Syntech? It is owned by Sanjay Bhandari. Then this amount of 1.9 million is then further transferred and they bought this 12 Bryanston mansion in London with this money. As you can see, the money flows into Brampton. Now, interestingly, this goes into to one of the money holdings, as they are saying, companies, and from there this money is flowing towards Vortex. The Vortex shares are then transferred from this to Skylight Investment in UAE. This is the C Thampi that Bhavtosh had just referred to. Skylight Investment is owned by C Thampi. Now, why is this important? Because incidentally, C Thampi is known to be a close aide of Robert Vadra. In fact, Robert Vadra invests in Skylight Investments as well. This is where the money is flowing through the fronts as per the allegations of the central agencies.
So that's a detailed explanation. However, with the Indian security agencies have been fighting a tough battle to bring the fugitive back to India. So far, the UK court's order is already a big motivation for the security agencies that have been fighting a battle against Sanjay Bhandari. In the meantime, as far as close aide Robert Vadra is concerned, Times now confronted him directly. Watch this sequence exactly when those straightforward questions were put across.
Robert Vadra, Sanjay Bhandari will be brought back to India. What do you have to say? What do you have to say? Vadra, what do you have to say? Sanjay Bhandari will be brought back to India.
So that's how Robert Vadra fled when questions were being asked on Sanjay Bhandari. However, the UPA leader continues to stay in denial. The former minister, Palam Raju, while speaking to Times Now, said that there were no scams in his tenure and that no favours were granted to anyone.
I would welcome the extradition of all these people who are claiming to be middlemen, and we would welcome a probe into it, if they are claiming something.
Okay,
but I can very confidently say that the UPA government, especially the Ministry of Defence, with people like Mr. Pranab Mukherjee at the helm of affairs and Mr. Antony at the helm of affairs, we were proud that our track record shows that there were never any scandals, and if there were anything that was brought to our notice, we immediately cancelled those tenders. We cashed in the deposit given by vendors, and we even handed over the cases to the CBI, like we did, an example being the Eurocopter. I've been in the ministry for 7 years. Never did I hear of pressure from the family overtly or covertly.
Well, Bhavtosh is with us here on the broadcast. Bhavtosh, just help us understand as far as the legal process is concerned, because a big win for our security agencies. However, when it comes to the legal options in front of Sanjay Bhandari, he still has the option of approaching the London High Court there. The extradition process is something that cannot be fast-tracked.
Yes, he has an option of approaching the High Court, and it's within his legal rights to approach the High Court, and if the High Court accepts his appeal, then the matter will be pending. And the other option is that the Home Secretary, in fact, clears his extradition. So the matter will be pending in the High Court, like the Nirav Modi case. Now, all eyes will be on the High Court. Now, if High Court, in fact, rejects his appeal, then the Home Secretary can clear his extradition. Remember, he is not only booked in the money laundering case and in the Benami Act case. His predicate offence is much serious. He has been booked by the Delhi Police's crime branch in an Official Secrets Act case, because the preliminary investigation started when the Income Tax Department carried out raids and searches in April 2016. At his Defence Colony residence, when some classified documents were seized from his residence. That's how the entire investigation started in this case, when email extraction was done from his hard disk, and then this entire case started unraveling. So the predicate offence is OSA case, and India is hopeful that the High Court turns his appeal down, and then the Home Secretary immediately clears his file, and he can be extradited back to the country.
Okay, all right. Bhavtosh, thank you for joining us with those details.